They're the worst.
They're the worst.
Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the Worst Critics news series, Reboot or Deboot. I'm your host, Noah Davis.
And I'm John Pina.
And we're here to talk about movies and their various reboots. And even though I said this during a botched introduction, we could keep this series going forever because already this year there's going to be 4 separate reboots, and that's not counting Fantastic Four Superman. Today, or this part of next week's 2 weeks from now episode, we're talking about The Heartbreak Kid from 1972. I think I'm going to give a little context or a little information. I think we're going to start doing that. Like, it's directed by Elaine May and written by Neil Simon, and it's basically about an asshole.
Self-absorbed piece of shit.
Yeah, it's the best way to describe it. It's about an asshole who regrets getting married. And big picture start. You want to start with the big picture?
Yes, and I'll say a couple notes about a couple different things, but yes, big picture, it isn't the worst movie I ever saw, but it does definitely go into the category of I wish I didn't see it, because I will remember the badness of it and the fact that it just rubs me the wrong way the whole time. And maybe they tried to do that intentionally, but fuck them for so, and fuck them if they didn't. So
I believe it was all intentional, but that doesn't make it any less grating or frustrating to watch. That's the problem I have with it. It's, oh yeah, you're supposed to be uncomfortable, but I didn't gain anything from being uncomfortable. It wasn't funny. I think that's the biggest problem. It just, the Office episodes like Scott's Tots, you're uncomfortable, but it's funny. This movie, were there jokes?
I mean, I genuinely didn't laugh.
I liked the wife character, the beginning wife character. She was cool and kind of funny and had a charm to it, but I didn't. There was nothing I could grasp.
She was charming and cute. It was like endearing. And he was just a dick to her, but it wasn't like she was funny. Like she didn't make me laugh. Right. Or maybe I smiled at some of the like silly things she was doing, but it wasn't even a chuckle or a chortle. It was just a smile at best.
Big picture is we set the bar too high with our first episode, Ikaru and Living, because this movie just, I think the first 10 minutes I was kind of into it and kind of enjoying it. And that was, again, the first 10 minutes.
Yep. And weirder is that I think this is like a sort of acclaimed movie.
I do too. Right. Yeah, that's what I assumed. That was my assumption again.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So going into it, I had assumed, is the way I should phrase it, that I knew of this one and the remake, right? And obviously we're not going to talk about the remake because one, we haven't seen it, and two, like, who knows? But like Ben Stiller, yada, yada, he's kind of a film guy, as we all know. And seemingly this is like a 70s film people's kind of movie, like either people who grew up in this era or watched movies like with their older siblings or parents like a little bit later, like in the 80s, 90s. But this is old and should not be enjoyed by anybody, is my big take.
Yeah, if you relate to any of the characters, you kind of suck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe the wife, but even then you still kind of suck.
Yeah, like the fact that they apparently had never spent time together was the weird thing for me. How do you just not see these things or not realize these things before you get married? I get it, rushing into something, but that wasn't really implied. All that was implied was
they dated and fucked.
Exactly, that they met,
not
dated,
fooled around.
Yeah, and then got married. It wasn't implied that it was, they got married a day later, which that might make more sense to me, but that was never, I did not infer that whatsoever.
Yeah, I recall nothing about the timing of the relationship. Like, we did see a couple of dates, and then we saw a wedding, but that could have been any amount of time. That could have been years. That could have been weeks. That could have been, months.
Yeah, and I mean, there is an immediate establishment of the main character, so I will give it props for that. I mean, right off the bat, we know who Lenny is and what kind of guy he is. There's nothing that comes of it. It doesn't, nothing changes. There's no development. There's nothing like that. It's just kind of the static plot and event or series of events that just, I don't know. It was just like a long flat line plateau the entire movie. And it wasn't starting from a high plateau. It was just, middling. Okay, this is the next scene.
Yeah, middling. And so I have one thing to sort of draw back to that point of I came in not knowing that this was like, or I came in thinking this was acclaimed. And on the wiki page as part of the notes, the first wife was nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
For this?
Yep.
What?
And the dad of the second wife for Best Supporting Actor.
I mean, he was kind of enjoyable, but I just know he's from an episode of Columbo. That's all. That's all I could see the entire time. Sure.
And AFI made a list of the 100 funniest movies ever made, and it ranked number 91.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
This isn't even the funniest movie I've watched all year or in the last 6 months. I mean,
now technically they did make that list in the year 2000, but
I guess
still.
My thing is, it's a 70s movie and, you kind of have to reframe your perception of it a little bit. But I've seen good 70s movies, That's my biggest problem is I've seen good 70s movies and this was not one of them. Personally, I mean, I don't think I like this movie almost in any shape or form.
Yeah, and it's one of those movies that doesn't have like that longevity to it. Like it is very dated in every way.
Yes.
Even the references to Miami Beach. Like Miami Beach isn't that Miami Beach anymore. Right. Miami Beach is now like a place of like luxury and fast cars and athletes and clubs. And that Miami Beach is like what we would consider, the like Myrtle Beach. It's like a beach with touristy stuff and like dog tracks. I was like, what the fuck is a dog track, dude?
Yeah, bro, he wanted to go to the dog tracks. And I sat there thinking, were dog tracks even, illegal yet? Like, aren't there dog tracks kind of all over the country at this time in the 70s? Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, but they're probably in like touristy spots like this. Like you probably don't have like your local dog track, or if you do, that's just depressing. But I bet it is something to go do, like go into the casino. Most cities don't have a casino, but you do go to the casino as a group of people doing something.
That's fair. Yeah, and like you said, it's immediately dated with the Miami thing, and I think even the transitions and the editing is super dated. The sun shit.
Everything. The dialogue, everything.
I hated that sun transition so much.
It was hurting my eyes, and it didn't even look good on the film.
Nope.
Like you could clearly tell it was like sun marking the film, and that was supposed to be artsy, but it didn't look good. It just looked like burnt red garbage.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say it looks good because it's on 70s film, not because of any conscious decision, It's just the fact that, 70s film, that looks good. And then every actual conscious decision, like the sun transition, did not look good. So,
I thought you were gonna say the second wife. I thought you were gonna say Kelly.
Oh no! I mean,
I was like, and then I was gonna call you Lenny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and I've even talked about my problems with the plot. It feels just. Yeah, the guy's sleazy, or it's on purpose that the guy's sleazy, but that doesn't help because I can't relate to anything about the guy. I can't relate to anything he's doing or saying. I can't relate to any of it because what kind of dumbass would do any of this? Like, is that funny that there's a dumbass?
Here's your soundbite. This is National Lampoon. This is horned up, cis white male chauvinistic trash. This makes me want to support vasectomies and chastity belts for everyone so we can avoid putting more people like this on Earth. What the hell?
I mean, that's kind of fair, honestly. I mean, if there are men that are actually like Lenny, that's kind of sad. Not kind of sad. It's sad.
I
And
mean, there definitely are. There definitely are.
yeah, and again, he's just a giant asshole. And watching an hour and a half or 2 hours, hour and a, I couldn't tell you, of just being an asshole isn't fun to me. Especially when there aren't really not every movie needs a punchline, but there aren't really setups and there aren't really jokes. It's just scenes that are
Yeah,
supposed to be comedic and aren't.
correct. It's supposed to be like, your eyebrows raised, sort of sarcastic, ironic take
Hmm.
on, I guess, what was, 70s men. But in today's lens, it doesn't even really deliver the sarcasm well. And it just then is unfunny, chauvinistic shit. Like, he didn't do anything that redeemed his character.
Nope.
He wasn't interesting.
Nope.
There wasn't even like a tie back. Like, he just seemed bored at his wedding, is how it ended. Like what significance did that give us? There was no evolution of a character. There was no jokes, and there was no like core, I don't even know, message. It was just like, here's a slice of life for
Yeah.
people who hate their lives, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, again, yeah. Yeah. Like I said before, it's static. There's nothing changes. There's no. I mean, I think if you've listened to our previous series, The Worst Critics, where we reviewed things, I think character development is pretty important in a piece of art, or a film. I in a TV show, in any sort of visual media, there's got to be some sort of give and take. This was all just all give or all take. It wasn't both. I wasn't enthralled by this character. I didn't really care about his next action. And like you said, the end wedding, it's, oh, well, he's bored again, so he's going to leave this woman for another woman, and then the cycle continues. Is that funny?
Well, it gets better because I've got more notes if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Because it'll make the underpinning of the story even worse. So this isn't even an original screenplay. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did see it's based on a short story.
Did you see what the short story is?
No.
Again, the plot of the short story is literally a man falls in love with another woman at a hotel on our honeymoon in Florida, but it's about the author's actual honeymoon.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah.
So the author's just an asshole?
So the author was an asshole, and then I guess they thought, well, let's try to give it this sarcastic slant. But if the source material is not sarcastic and you don't deliver the sarcasm heavy and pay it off, then it really just reads like what the source material was.
Yeah, and again, I'm still not sure if we were supposed to be sympathetic or not. I literally couldn't tell you if the movie wanted me to enjoy my time or not.
Any positives? Any redeeming takes?
The first wife was funny, but we already said that.
Yep, those were my two positives. One, the first wife was not only clearly a good actress, but also had the only interesting role, which was to deliver like a bit of levity.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't funny,
No.
it wasn't humor, it was lightness. And then the other one was that this is one of the only movies where I can remember all the names. I don't know if that's a me issue or the fact that every name has an L in it, but it's like Lenny, Kelly, and Lila.
Oh, it was. Yeah, okay. I sort of see.
I just don't know. I don't know what it was about me, but I'm bad with character names, and it was totally fine. I remembered everyone's name.
Also, was Lenny not Jewish?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell who was the Jewish person. I didn't know if she was like a Guidette Jewish person.
Because I assumed they both were Jewish, but then the end wedding, there's no Judaism to be seen or any sort of reference to that in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And
again,
I was actually.
And why was it relevant? I have no idea. Yeah.
No idea. Yeah, no idea. I also want to. My problem too is that it almost has two different plots. You know, like halfway through the movie or a little more than halfway through, he goes to Minnesota, or was it Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Minnesota. And it felt like there was just this abrupt changeover. Just, oh, now it's a plot about him trying to get Kelly. And that just, whatever momentum it had was stopped in its tracks because, I mean, it's almost literal polar opposites. And I guess that reflects the wives or something. I don't know. I'm trying to read into this so I can maybe enjoy it. But, you know, even the setting, it's super sunny Miami, and then you go to super cold Minneapolis. And I maybe there's something there. Maybe it's symbolism. I don't know. I'm literally trying to enjoy or, you know, trying to make more of it than what I gleaned from watching it.
Yeah, I have no idea, bro. I have no idea what they were thinking or doing, man.
And,
And
oh, yeah.
oh, go ahead. No,
Up,
it's
up,
you.
up, 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 up. Wow. Okay, stalemate. All right. Yeah, and the fact that it stretched on for an hour 40 or something, hour 45 or however long it was, amazes me. Just the fact that someone could cobble together that it almost, you know, people complain, oh, this is too much filler, like a TV show is too much filler. The whole movie
Yeah,
kind of felt like filler,
precisely.
and that's
It's
that's a problem.
it's. I want this on the record that it's funny because I was gonna bring up the runtime.
Yeah.
How in the world? How in the world did they get it to almost 2 hours,
No
man?
idea. It felt like a story that could be told in a 20-minute serial show. Just, okay, this is that. And then, okay, he's an asshole. Done. Next.
Time, time for a little foreshadowing. The next one adds 10 minutes to the runtime.
Oh, great. Don't tell me that. I'll also say that I called that ending. I mean, it's so easy to call that ending just from a mile away. So when you're able to predict an ending, you know, not even halfway through a movie or a quarter of the way through a movie, is that a good ending? You know,
Uh,
like,
no, but also the middle, right when you sort of understand exactly what's going to take place, like they're at that dinner and he's trying to finally break it off with her.
yeah,
That's like just an objectively bad scene. Every part of it. It's like not only is it highlighting him being an asshole, which again is sort of the point of the movie question
I
mark,
guess, I
but
guess.
you don't have to have a whole scene devoted to it if the whole movie's devoted to it. And then the waiter is, I think, supposed to be comedic because he just keeps talking over the asshole and like trying to be nice to the asshole. But that isn't funny. It's just highlighting the guy being an asshole. And then she's crying and she's gonna vomit and everyone's looking at them. And there's no even sense of like discomfort. There's just rage at the guy. It's
Right?
like
Yeah, 100%. I
such a
was,
useless scene. You could have just had him. You could have just had him ghost her, and it would have made more sense.
yeah, for sure. I think ghosting actually would have served the plot a lot more instead of the she's trying to throw up and he's like, drink this water. It just wasn't funny. It's like, it's as though someone was trying to be Steve Martin or make a Steve Martin comedy, and we got this. Where, you know, I bet you money this movie has been described as, you know, smart or, you know, intelligent. Oh, you're not smart enough. Like,
Right.
this is witty, you know, and I refuse to believe any of that because it felt so surface level. And I think I told you it's just vapid, even though it's trying to be a little poignant. It's just, there's nothing, I'd gathered nothing other than just hating the main character. And not a hate as in, oh man, I love to hate this guy. You know, it's not like There Will Be Blood. The main character sucks shit, but guess what? It's entertaining. This movie, he sucks, and that's it. He just sucks.
Huh.
What? Huh, what?
In my notes, I had forgotten I put this in here.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just gonna bring it up.
Hit me.
Apparently, and again, clearly we just don't know Jewish tropes, I guess. But like one of the most relevant themes, at least according to what Wiki wanted to put in order of their themes, is Jewish identity. That the guy is a classic Schleimel or bumbler,
Schleimel?
I guess, who basically dumps his sort of sloppy, innocent Jewish girl for the sort of all-American wasp.
Is
And
this
that's
a
like a
thing?
common trope. Yeah, I was like, what?
Is this the thing? Is it? I mean, I wasn't raised Jewish. I'm not Jewish. Is this a thing?
Me
Maybe that
neither.
makes it funnier. Maybe.
Correct. I guess that's the point. Is that it's like sort of like a friendly anti-Semitism, quote unquote. Is this reviewer's take?
Is Elaine May the director? Is she Jewish? Are the producers Jewish? Because if not, then I'm confused. Now, if
Yeah,
so,
I
I
don't.
guess that adds up.
So it's all the filmmakers are Jewish. Friedman, Simon, May, Edgar Sherrick,
Gotcha.
the composers.
So is this a cultural difference that I just hate the movie
Yeah.
because of cultural?
Yes, because you're anti-Semitic. Is that why you hate
Is
this
that
movie?
is that? Why?
So listen to this. Is a quote from some other critic. Why be married to a cloying, unsophisticated, slightly overweight Jewish girl who speaks with discernible sing-song Jewish
Overweight?
intonation? Exactly. When you can perhaps conquer a very waspy-looking knockout blonde shiksa type, and a shiksa's like a blonde that takes a Jew away from his like Jewish identity. I did know shiksa. I just didn't know the sort of man component to that trope and the Jewish female trope.
Yeah, this is the twist I don't see coming. Is that you might have to be Jewish to relate to this movie?
But yeah, 70s overweight goes crazy because that person was just objectively hot.
Bro, yeah, exactly. And speaking of 70s overweight, if you've ever watched MASH, there's a character named Major Houlihan, and they literally call her fat. And if you could just look up Loretta Swit, anyone listening, or you now, John, just look up Loretta Swit for me in MASH, and you tell me what is fat there.
Wait, she's supposed to be fat?
Yeah, literally, they call her fat multiple times.
It's just her face, I think. Like her cheeks are full. But like they're not fat cheeks either. You know, they're not puffy, they're not like excessively big. They just are big cheeks.
Yeah, so I don't understand the 70s and fatness. The 70s relationship with fatness. I will never understand it. Because
which is crazy too, because I thought the 90s was supposed to be like the early 2000s was supposed to be the worst. You know, it's like when we had like the most like stick figure models and shit. But clearly the 70s had the most warped sense of fucking fat.
Well, the stick figure models probably evolved from that sense, that kind of perception of it.
Maybe.
Also, random note, because I mean, we can just keep hating on the movie, but random note, did egg salad used to have lettuce in it? Because when they're at the diner and she orders egg salad, there's clearly like lettuce in there, and I've never had egg salad with lettuce.
This is about to be an egg salad podcast because now we're gonna have to go down a little rabbit hole to see what happened to the evolution of
Honestly,
egg salad.
Yeah. Do we talk about egg salad or do we just keep harping on this movie? Because I've almost run out of things to say because it wasn't even terrible enough to like laugh at the decisions or anything like that. It was just bad and middling and uncomfortable. That kind of encapsulates my entire viewing.
Apparently, egg salad is a Jewish dish.
What?
Yeah, until the 1980s, the dish was called Jewish eggs.
What?
It's on the wiki page.
Man, maybe this is a cultural thing. Maybe that's... Huh. Well, I mean, maybe that explains why we hate
it. Is it us? Is it us? Are we the problem?
Well, I don't think we're the problem, per se.
Yeah, we might be the problem.
We might just not be the intended audience, because I don't think the trope of cheating on your wife is funny in any way, shape, or form. It can lead to a humorous sitcom situation, but not an hour-and-a-half movie situation. Or or even if like the cheating on the spouse, but they're hiding it. Like that's the fun is, they're hiding it the whole time. Whereas this was just, no, he left her. Like there's nothing. That's it.
Oh,
Talk to
oh
me about
my God.
Exile. Keep talking.
No, the just another quote. So the guy, our lead actor, was interviewed, and he's like, well, many people misread the film as sort of like an illustration of precisely Jewish annoyances instead of a critique. The number of men who came up and told me how much they loved the movie and how they identified with my character, while flattering, is frightening. So
What the
even in the
hell?
70s, people were laughing their ass off at the exact wrong thing.
No, I mean, what the hell are you like? How do you make a movie like this and think, oh, this is gonna be a positive message?
Because you're delusional as fuck.
I mean, the guy literally ended up with a hot wife. How is that? How is that? There's no.
But he was sad at the end, kind of.
But he never got his comeuppance or anything like that. He never got punished. Nothing like that. He literally got rewarded for being an asshole and then got rewarded again for being an asshole. Oh, movie over.
You know what the fix would have been?
I don't know. Have the blonde lady kick him out?
No. Instead of talking to two little children at the end, he's talking to one of the bridesmaids and is like clearly head over heels in love again.
There you go. See, I think I would have liked that. I think that because the ending we got, I think it was trying to be subtle, but there's nothing subtle about it. Because, he repeated the same hogwash or, in that Esquire magazine or whatever. I forget which magazine he was repeating. So there was no subtlety to that ending. So I think your fix could have helped the ending. Maybe not the movie, but helped the ending. Because it would confirm what we all already knew.
My last note here before we just give final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm ready for final thoughts on this one.
The editor, name's John Carter, different guy.
Not John Carter of Mars?
Correct. John Carter, different guy. Okay. His subsequent film that he edited is called I Could Never Have Sex with Any Man Who Has So Little Regard for My Husband. So if you thought that these filmmakers went on to do bigger and better things, the 70s comedies for them were not big hits.
It's almost a struggle to call this a comedy for me, personally.
I mean, it's not funny, but everyone else calling it a comedy, so we kind of just have to agree to disagree and say, you sure? You can call it that.
Right. I mean, I'd rather call a super shitty comedy. I don't know. I'd rather call... Dumb and Dumber is not that funny when you're not 12 years old, but that's still a comedy in my mind.
Well, I think this one's technically labeled black comedy.
Oh, okay. So witty, wink.
Yeah, morbid humor, wink.
You gotta be intelligent for this, or I guess you have to be Jewish or something. I don't know.
Average Rick and Morty fan's favorite 70s comedy.
Yeah, for sure. It goes over people's heads. I get it,
Yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts on the movie, and then we'll go to our maybe predicting what the reboot will do. I didn't like this movie in any way, shape, or form.
Agreed completely. Only two slightly redeeming qualities, which we already talked about, are the actress of the first wife just doing a good job.
And egg salad. Sorry, Jewish eggs.
Yeah, Jewish eggs. But really, they're definitely not worth watching. And if this is a movie that you can think back fondly to, I highly recommend a revisit because either you're a weirdo
yeah,
or like, I don't know, there's some super like mysterious Jewish component to this that you and I are missing that and if so, just tell us about it because I need to know.
Yeah,
I need to know what is funny about this movie or good about this movie.
Yeah, agreed, wholeheartedly. Okay, let's move on to predicting what the reboot, which was it 2003? I forgot to write the date down. 2007?
Yep.
Okay, what the 2007 reboot with Ben Stiller? What do you think? What do you think's gonna happen? What's changed? What do you want to change?
Oh, I want everything to change.
Oh, same.
again, having done the cursory Google search for the runtime, I know some of the actors in it, and again, hopefully some things that they change are one, they make it more relevant to the time, or
Yeah.
at least make it something that isn't so dated. Hopefully there's at least funny scenes, if not actual jokes.
Right.
Hopefully it feels like there's a little bit of romance, even though the marriage was rushed.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then hopefully there's some depth to the characters, both the old and the new, that make it that I care about them. Because as piece of shit as this guy was, I still didn't care about the first wife. They didn't give me a reason to care about her.
Yeah.
They didn't give me a reason to care about the hot blonde. She was just some hot blonde. Like it was like the movie was so vapid. I had no interest in anything that happened.
Yeah. And
I had no reason to laugh. I had no reason to care.
and when he's, talking about, oh, I could fall in love with you, or what was he falling in love with? She was hot. Like that was
Correct.
What did she
Which
do?
again, I guess is some trope, but I don't buy it.
I don't get it. And again, she's in college. How old was Lenny? How old was Charles Grodin at the time of this movie? Can we talk about that too?
I had assumed he was supposed to be like late 20s or 30.
How can we look up what his age Mr. Grodin was? I think that's Charles Grodin. That was his name, I believe. Because
you want the actor's age?
Yeah,
the age?
yeah.
You're just hoping that they would be the same?
Yeah, I mean, roughly, right? Because he's not. I don't think he's the type of guy that looks younger than he is. He looks like his age, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but they might cast him younger,
Yeah. I just want to know.
30, he was 37.
God.
In 1935.
And the blonde lady is in college, finishing up whatever.
Yeah. Well, and let's do the math. Let's see how over age casted. What's the word I'm looking for?
I want to bring up a separate point. Hollywood just has an obsession with having older dudes and younger women, and it needs to stop. We need to quit that.
The world has an obsession with it. What do you mean?
Well, I get it. Okay, well, Hollywood needs to, or producers in Hollywood need to quit like propagating the trope.
Right. Yeah, I will say it's Hollywood's fault, but it is the world's problem.
Yeah, exactly.
1972, 1949. So she would have been 23 time the movie came out.
Gross. That's gross. I mean, she's an adult, whatever, but gross.
Yeah, gross.
Couldn't imagine at 23 being like, yeah, this 37-year-old, he's hot.
Oh, wait, this wasn't a Woody Allen movie?
Right. Ew, it did feel like a Woody Allen movie, didn't it?
No, exactly, right? And then it would also make a lot more sense for many other reasons.
Ew, pull my collar here.
Wait, is Woody Allen Jewish?
I mean, I don't know for certain, but if I were a guessing
Alan
man,
Stewart Konigsberg.
Yeah, if I were a guessing man, yes. Yeah.
So that answers that.
Oh man, I bet you this is his favorite movie of all time.
Yep. Woody Allen favorite movie certified.
Tells you whatever you need to know about this movie.
Woody Allen and that guy are the same age.
Of course they are. Now, as for my hopes for the reboot, I kind of hope it just, honestly, like I said before, I hope Lenny gets punished. There needs to be a legit punishment, or some sort of divine irony, just some sort of something, payback or something. He just gets off too scot-free, you know what I'm saying? Like, there needs to be consequences for his actions or something, just so I can latch onto, anything. And I really do hope it's less manic, because this original just felt like manic. Just the scenes, the cuts, you're going from here to there. There didn't really have a good flow. I didn't feel any flow, I don't think it went from one scene to the other very smoothly. And I hope they kind of fix that. I mean, I doubt it, but I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I hope too. I have two more closing remarks just because they kept popping up as I was remembering them. But I did this last time where I pulled up a Letterboxd comment, so I'm gonna do it again.
Hit me.
Men should watch this so they understand why women think they're dumb. Sure, but it doesn't make it funny.
Right. Yeah.
This should be a life lesson for all the men that act this way, but also I'm not laughing at it either way. And then secondly, as just a way to really get you in the mood for this coming movie, we've got Rob Corddry, Danny McBride, and Carlos Mencia.
Wow.
You're welcome.
What a cast there. I don't even know who they'd play. Man, I don't know. I mean, okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Man, all right. Well, I think that about does it for part 1 of The Heartbreak Kid. Anything else? Last little nothing?
See you in a second.
And we're back talking about the reboot of The Heartbreak Kid from 2007, directed by the Farrelly brothers. I honestly don't even care to pronounce it right because, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Their motto is the wronger the better, so that's what ours can be.
I don't even know where to start, really. I literally have no idea where to start other than to say this might be the single worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yep. Agreed. I can think of movies that were worse in the sense of, poor shots, like clearly worse, artistry. But this is bad choice after bad choice, doing things up for the sake of doing them up, and then making it worse again. Double, tripling down on bad takes, bad jokes, like, oh, a little homophobia wasn't enough for you? How about a lot of homophobia? Oh, a little racism wasn't enough for you? How about a lot of racism?
Oh, one sex assault joke wasn't enough for you? How about 3?
Yeah. Oh, a little bestiality for your smut film? Here you go.
Yeah. You know what? I want to start off by saying it does explain the quick marriage better than the original. I will say that.
Yeah, this is clearly like a movie with a plot. The other one was not.
Right.
This plot just sucks so bad.
So bad. All the jokes are just flat, unfunny, almost offensively bad, and not, oh, they said a sexist or racist term offensive, just so unfunny that I'm offended that anyone thought they were jokes.
Yeah. And then, of course, still slurs are funny. Haha. Also.
Ha! The classic slur.
So I think to begin, we just do big picture overview. I'm happy to say what the film got right, which is that one thing. They actually had a plot.
And the ending was cleaner.
Wrong. The what? Was it cleaner?
The ending was cleaner.
Sure.
And that's it. That's it.
Minus whatever the after credit scene is that we'll have to talk
about. Do you want me to spoil it now, or do you want me to wait for that?
No. Big picture.
Okay. First. Yeah. The writing wasn't good. The direction and photography and all that, not memorable in any way, shape, or form. Score, forgettable. There's nothing going for this movie that I can say, oh yeah, that's a movie. None of that.
Yep, same. Actually, and there were particularly egregious components to it. I can think of, like, that, again, something that should never be discussed. The sound editing was abysmal. I had to repeatedly turn my volume down because my ears were getting blasted anytime there was a scene transition with music. Like, every time in the car that they would alternate between talking and singing, every time at the hotel it went from, outdoor scene with family to him going back to the hotel room. They always transitioned it with some music.
Right.
The mariachi band coming out egregiously for the
right. That was loud.
It was always loud, and I always had to turn down my volume. But then the spoken word, the actual dialogue, you had to turn back up to like a reasonable volume.
Yeah, again, sound editing should not be talked about.
Yeah. You should not know that guy's name. You shouldn't know that that's a job someone had.
Yeah.
And I have to talk about it because everything about this movie pissed me off, but in particular, getting my ears blasted and having to like play with the volume completely took me out of the movie so many times. Fortunately, maybe that's to their credit. Maybe it's to their credit.
That was lucky for you.
Yeah, but holy crap is this just bad?
I
So
I
bad.
I always want to give artists the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, I didn't like that movie, but it wasn't for me. You know, like if I watched Wicked, I doubt I'd enjoy it, but I wouldn't say, oh, this is terrible. This is garbage. I would not say that because, you know, it's art, but it's not for me. This is 0 out of 10, unironically garbage.
If you have liked this movie, if you paid to see this in theaters and didn't like throw up in disgust or just walk out, you're the problem,
Yeah.
and you're the reason we can't have $60 million comedies anymore.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
this
you
was a
need to quit
60
listening to this
million.
podcast, actually. I don't
Yeah,
want you here.
yeah, fuck you. Yeah.
I do not want you here, honestly. If you're a
This is
fan, no.
this is a $60 million movie in 2007. Like, are you kidding me?
$60 million on what?
Yes.
Carlos
Uh,
Mencia?
yeah, Carlos Mencia, Ben Stiller. Not
Man.
one feature of what's her name Ackerman's breast, but two. I don't know where the 60 million went, but someone got paid way too well to make this.
I mean, and it's hilarious. Like, even looking at the small things, and you know, that 60 million price tag makes it even worse because Carlos Mencia's fake mustache looks so
Dude.
fucking bad.
Dude, I could spend 10 minutes talking about Carlos Mencia in this film because not only is he clearly forgettable in the sense that history has forgotten him until this
Yeah.
talking point right now, but
Yes.
why? I mean, I guess we'll just jump into it. Why
Yeah.
are we in Mexico
hmm
and a dude who can speak in a totally normal North American accented English is
hmm
throwing on the like worst fake Mexican accent, and he's the only motherfucking Mexican in the whole movie.
Yeah,
There's
that.
no other employees at the resort. There's no other Mexican people except for when they jokingly cross the border. Like, are you shitting me? Oh, and the old guy who only talks once. I forgot about him. I guess he's Mexican too, but like, what is Carlos Mencia's character doing other than being the most offensive possible thing to Mexicans you could possibly do?
Yeah.
Which should be shameful. Like, sure, get your bag, but also shame on you.
I just couldn't. Yeah, the whole time they're in Mexico and there's literally not an actual Mexican character. Like, Carlos Mencia isn't really a character. He's just more of a comedic relief and a fucking. I hate to even use that term because
Yeah.
there's nothing comedic about it and there's no relief
Yeah.
given.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I put my fucking dick in your wife's hand, by the way.
Yeah, put your wife's
Jesus
dick in my hand. I'm screwing with you. I'm screwing with you? This is an R-rated comedy and you're saying I'm screwing with you? What
Yeah.
like what year, what decade is this?
Yeah, where they don't care to show vag and literal donkey dick.
Literal donkey dick. Thank God for the DVD or Amazon. Thank God they put a black bar over a donkey dick and a ring on a clitoris. I couldn't tell because, you know, black square, but there's a joke about a piercing on her vagina, and that's funny because
She's a sex freak, and that proves it.
and even
Like,
made a meow sound effect.
yeah, dude, yeah, the whole thing, bro. The whole thing. Every piece of this.
Or the longest setup for a joke they had was pissing on jellyfish sting. Like that. You're telling me you spent an hour setting up that joke, kind of, you know, hinting at it, and then finally paying off, quote unquote, big air quotes around paying off, for a joke that's in every 90s sitcom ever created.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I can go down this list of negatives I have.
Oh no, I have one. I don't know if this is a me problem, but one of the biggest like grievances I had is where the other one, even though it's not really a plot, it is like a fairly succinct story. There is no
Yes.
meandering and random side quests and conversations that don't advance the plot.
Yes.
This thing was just throwing out things that I guess theoretically were breadcrumbs in a 5-hour version of this movie that they edited down to this, you know,
Don't even
120-minute runtime.
Don't even
But-
imply that.
But you know, like in that first wedding where you find out that this Rob Corddry character, who they seemingly didn't know each other at all and were best friends, like that threw me off.
That was
I
weird.
thought like he was a stranger at the wedding and
Yes.
they were really good friends. I was like, wait, huh? The point where he's like, oh no, I just drink what my wife drinks now, and then he proceeds to drink 5 other times in the movie. I counted, and he's drinking beer the rest of the time. He's not drinking whatever his wife's drinking. I was so confused. Even at his friend's wedding, he was drinking beer. I'm like, now you're confusing the shit out of me, because why would you even include that line about how, again, your character gets warped by your marriage or whatever, and you play along, and then you didn't even like commit to that joke. I
Right.
was so perplexed.
Also, I didn't even write this down actually. Talking about that exact the beginning wedding scene, which was so out of place. So they had a beginning wedding scene. So they clearly have seen the original movie, but then they said, what if it wasn't his wedding? It was his ex-girlfriend's wedding or ex-fiance's wedding. And then, at the end where he's talking to the kids and it's like, okay, this character's immature. Lenny, he's immature. But what if it was just a gag where kids call him slurs and he has to make up a fake story about his wife being murdered, and it's funny because he's at the kids' table and that's the singles table? Like, you clearly saw the movie because you're paying homage. Again, you can't see my fingers, but they're doing the air quotes. You're paying homage to that, but in the worst possible way, like in a way that's so stupid, I wouldn't have even assumed it if I had not seen the original.
Yeah, I mean, dude, each scene we could probably spend at least 20 minutes dissecting how fucking dumb either the writing, the acting, or the combination of the two things are. But holy hell, like, why is that such a contrived point? Like some joke he made to the, homophobic kids table, like,
Yep.
is one of the biggest like plot driving like themes, or
Yep.
I guess threads rather. And then why did they have to do? I mean, I guess this is quote unquote early 2000s, but like it is 2007. You know what I mean? Like Dane Cook was already sort of played out by this point, I feel. Like, what's with the
I don't know.
standing up? Oh, you got owned, bro. Like, why is Rob Corddry's character doing that?
Right, and why does no one think that's weird?
Yeah, because he's at the kids' table in the back and everyone's just looking at him awkwardly. Like, it was like an awkward bit,
Well, and then don't forget the joke where at the wedding to the new girl who played Silk Spectre in Watchmen, that's how I knew her. Don't forget the joke where her mom's fat, so she's gonna be fat and like, That's funny, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, you wore that dress? Oh, great. I'm going to hate you now because you're ugly.
Yeah. Oh, your mom's fat, so this is over, or this isn't, whatever. Doesn't matter. And you can't forget about the fake boobs joke. Oh, fake boobs float in the hot tub. It's funny. So funny.
Dude, hearing Jerry Stiller speak in that way, the whole movie, it was like, was this actual, again, using air quotes, comedic relief? Like,
No.
the dude just said the word pussy 30 times,
But he's old. No, nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my, it's funny that someone would even think that this is funny. Like, this is like Adam Sandler meets Rob Schneider meets Dumb and Dumber amped up on fucking crack. Like, what is happening?
Honestly, I'd probably watch any fucking Happy Madison produced movie over this twice, 3 times, maybe 4 or 5 times before I ever watch this once again. I mean, that's...
And for how much we disliked the last one, I thought they couldn't possibly do it as bad, and they did it so much worse.
Yes, the Heartbreak Kid from 1972 is a goddamn piece of art compared to this.
Yeah. I understand the Oscar nom.
Yeah, now I do. After seeing this, after seeing how bad it gets, you didn't know what you got till it's gone or whatever. And then making Lila the asshole didn't make sense at all, because now it's just justified that he wants to leave her, so it's not awkward in a sense that, oh, we're watching an asshole, we're just watching an asshole, but he's an asshole for different reasons entirely. It's almost like they didn't understand the assignment.
Right, and then they did make him an asshole too.
Yeah.
Like, they hard lean into it, because not only was he doing it again when he's, love of his life comes back, but the whole time he is still operating an asshole, telling a lie that he like doesn't need to tell, you know, because she's clearly not worth it. You know,
Right.
they make this very obvious in this version where she just seemed like, you know, young for the other guy in the other movie. This one, she's like, no, she's actually unbearable and not what I signed up for. But rather than just, I don't know, fucking grow a pair and say that to her, he spends 5 days romancing this other chick and just lying out of his fucking ass for
Also,
no reason.
the whole cock me, fuck me like a black man. I
Yeah,
just
dude, dude.
this whole oh my god. I don't expect comedy movies to be, you know, masterpieces that are social points, or it's not trying to make any sort of social commentary or political commentary. I don't expect that out of a comedy. I mean, hell, I like Step Brothers, but Jesus Christ. Oh, I can't say enough bad things. And then the new girl, the only thing he really knows about her is that she's into sports.
Yeah, and she's hot.
So that means he's in love with her because they talked for one single night.
Yep. I think it's just you want what you don't have, and he's an asshole. I think is the point of that. I'm fine with it because that's the same trope as the first one, so that made sense a little bit.
Yeah, but at least she was like got that, sultry, sexy vibe going. Like it's just sex appeal. This, it's like there's not even. I mean, I don't. It just.
Also,
I
just
don't know.
saying sex positions is funny. Like just the words are funny. Like
Oh yeah,
very 2007 coded.
this position. And he's like, "Well, if we just do missionary?" And she says, "What's that?" Like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Also,
Is that a joke?
we talked about it with the wedding scene, but obviously, they knew the original. But why reshoot the original into this fucked up, convoluted one too? Like they literally did verbatim the hotel, 40 to 50 years,
Yeah.
that whole shtick.
Mm-hmm.
The circle, square drawing on the nipple, like
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing. Why include that? Because that's not an homage at this point. You're just plagiarizing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the fact that they even paid someone the rights to this, even though they changed it so much, makes zero sense in my mind. It's not as though, oh, this is a hot IP or anything like that. So why would you even bother trying to make this a remake when it's almost nothing like the original? Uh, I mean, can we talk about the border scene? Can we talk about the border scene? Are we there yet?
Sure, if we can get there, however you want, man.
So for people who haven't watched this movie, please don't watch this movie. There's a whole sequence where he is stuck in Mexico and he has to get back to, or he wants to get back to America. And so he hires, the coyotes or whatever
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
them back into America. And there's this whole sequence that I think is
yeah.
supposed to be funny where it's just Border Patrol apprehending him over and over and over again.
And then also just like he would make it over and then something happens where border patrol catches him or he's trying to board the train and even the homeless people don't want him on the train. They just beat him up and rob him and kick him off.
Which wasn't funny.
He learned Spanish, but clearly he doesn't actually speak Spanish.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Because he has no accent and he's just memorized words that he's clearly saying without like the proper intonation.
All bad, just all bad.
10 minutes of that, by the way. 10 minutes of runtime to do border patrol montage.
Also, Border Patrol not funny. Can we talk about, this is such a small thing, like in a fucking deluge of awfulness, when he's gonna tell her that he's leaving her or whatever, and he gets fajitas, and he's like, "Oh, this is hot." And it's just, they're fajitas.
Yeah. Or she has like some big obnoxious bowl of guac. Was she supposed to be obnoxious by eating the guac with a fork? I was like, that's like, I was like, that's like not abnormal. Like you eat it with a chip. You know what I mean? You just put it in your mouth. You don't have to have a chip to eat the guac.
And there weren't chips on the table. So in my mind, I mean, she's just doing what she
Right.
can.
Right. I was like, this, like, I don't even know who we're laughing at, like what we're laughing at. Like the things aren't jokes; they're just shit happening on the screen.
Yeah, and then right after that, when she's pissing on him, and that's a joke too because piss. Um, they have a
It's
random
funny
family that's laughing at them. Did you see? There's
because
just a random
yeah,
family just
because
laughing at them,
because
and I'm thinking,
it's
did they get
funny.
cut?
It's funny when someone gets jellyfish on them and gets peed on. Duh.
Or when
It
they're
is
in
a medical
Mexico,
emergency.
or when they're in Mexico, and the donkey fucking joke, which is not again
Oh my
not
dear
funny,
God.
and you put it in Mexico, so I feel like you're kind of just
Racist.
being an asshole. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
No. I think that's like an actual, just
oh
not ambiguous racist thing. It's
oh,
like,
that's
oh,
just a
you go
racist.
to, yeah, you go to Mexico for a donkey show, which is not a thing people do, first off. But of course, the one little fuck off town that they go to happens to have that as a entertainment thing. Like, oh, go fuck yourselves. Like, that is just problematic as hell.
Yeah, I'm so removed from that racism, I guess, that I didn't realize it was actually being racist. I just thought they were being I thought they were being racist in general, not,
No, they
oh,
were
this
being
is
very
specific
specific
racism.
racists.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah. Yeah, the
uh,
movie that drops the F slur, go figure they'll
ye-
not once, by the way, multiple times the
multiple
F slur.
times. Also the joke where they've got puppies and he has a rat, and how does that happen? How would you pick up a rat? How would
Yeah,
you carry a
just
rat and think
dude.
puppy? It
How
it
about
almost makes it hard to talk about.
how about the deviated septum joke, which one is not how deviated septums work?
Oh, but you see, liquid was coming out of her nose, so it's funny or
Yeah.
something or
Yeah.
another.
And steak came out of her nose. I'm like, bruh, what are we talking about? She has no palate? Like
But she got a
her
pill
roof of
stuck
her
up her
mouth does not
nose.
exist.
Yeah, she got a pill stuck up her nose, and that's funny because, um,
Medical
why was
problems
it
are funny,
funny?
dude.
Yeah, why
Substance
was that
abuse
funny?
funny.
Oh, and
Medical problems funny.
then you figure out the drugged up dude who's stealing her purse in the beginning was her boyfriend, and that's funny because I don't know why it's fake.
And again, not that, plot holes and points of that nature are super important when it's already this messy and just terrible, but what, like, they're in San Francisco, okay? Even in
Hmm.
2007, an expensive ass city.
Yes,
Okay? Tech boom has happened. It
right.
exists there. This dude owns like a store that's as big as a city block
Yeah, it was a huge store.
in San Francisco. And he's concerned about $26,000 of debt, or like paying off this, poor lady off the street. What? He's interested in the poor lady off the street? Like, he was complaining about the cost of Cabo. I was like, wait, you're rich as shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you've got like 15 M's in the bank. Like, you don't need to worry about anything.
You don't
So
just
for him
open
to,
a store in San Francisco. It's
yeah, yeah. Like, I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, just that's the whole thing, dude.
so many
Every
problems.
step of this. You got any more big ones? Any big
Oh
gripes we need to
yeah.
say?
Oh yeah. I mean, the end where he goes to what's her face's house, the new Kelly, whatever they named her. Because it was Kelly in the original, right?
Correct.
Okay,
So it's
whatever they
Eddie,
renamed
Lila, Miranda, I think.
Miranda and Eddie. Okay, hold on, actually back up. Why did they rip the Jewish identity from it? That might have been the only singular thing the original had. And yet,
Again, I could maybe anti-Semitism was high at this point, and you didn't want to get
but Ben
rubbed as being
Stiller.
anti-Semitic. I know. I'm just saying, if they didn't do it right and it came off anti-Semitic, it might have been a bigger bomb than just to, I don't know, shit on women and gay
Oh
people and
right,
Mexicans.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say they're not afraid to shit on other people. Okay, got it. I get it. Okay.
Right.
Um, yeah, yeah. And then when he goes to Miranda's house, and also Danny McBride being not funny at all.
Yeah. Actually, crazy casting for him in this. It made no sense. He was just like a actual like decent person who
Yeah,
was Southern.
Yeah, it wasn't funny because it was, oh, this guy's the only sane person in this movie. So why is it?
Also, that really rubbed me the wrong way too. Why was everyone from the South like this was like clearly someone who just is insulated in like LA, New York type
Mm-hmm.
film culture in the
Mm-hmm.
2000s because not only was first marriage lady from the South and big fat mom was Southern, but then this whole second family is quote unquote Southern, and the only thing they have is like ridiculous accents and a questionable sense of humor, but they play it like they're dumb rednecks, and you're like, wait, huh? Like
Right.
these people
Oh,
aren't rednecks; they're in fucking Cabo, bro. What are you
also,
talking about?
I'll raise you something. Um, why was Miranda and her husband at that house? Like,
Cause they're cousins, and the uncles, rich and cousins.
do
Duh,
you
duh.
do normal grown married adults live with their cousin, two cousins, and their uncle and aunt? Like, what? Who?
Right, especially rich ones.
Why? Why would this? Why is this even an event? Why? And how did he sneak in? How? And then how did Jerry Stiller sneak in? What? It's so.
Yeah, the whole thing's so contrived. And why
Ugh.
did he not like bathe? You know, why
Right.
did he look like a homeless person? Like none of it made any sense.
No, and the clearly fake beard was awful to look at.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Even the yeah. All right. Makeup and art design. People now getting sound editing. Got it. Now makeup and
Yeah,
costume are getting it
honestly.
because terrible, terrible, terrible the whole way through.
Yeah, I
Even I
tried to
thought
defend
like how
costuming even in bad movies, but I can't.
even how like her red skin and like the boils and
Yep.
whatnot that form. I was like, this looks like where did the 60 million go? That's
In
what
the
I want to know.
pockets of the Fairley brothers or somebody, the producers, whoever was behind this. Uh, I don't even want to call it anything. Like I don't want to call it a movie. I don't want to call it anything like that. Behind this schlock.
Well,
Uh,
do you know who has writing credits on this?
who?
Well, I just meant how many people. That's how you know
Oh,
they had to completely do
five.
this over and
Had
over.
to be
Yep, five,
five. Yeah.
five. I don't
Uh,
know three of them as writers. I mean, it's the brothers, and then Kevin Barnett, who doesn't even have
sure.
a wiki page.
Oh, that tells
Leslie
you all you need to
Dixon,
know.
yeah, Leslie Dixon, who was essentially no one.
Great.
He had 5 writing credits prior to this.
And they were
So
all masterpieces, right?
you don't know a single one. Maybe
Awesome.
Just Like Heaven, because it had Mark Ruffalo, Reese Witherspoon.
No, I don't know that
And,
one.
and that same year, he did the rewrite for Hairspray. So say less. I know.
I'm glad that that list doesn't keep going.
No, and
Uh,
then get ready. The
oh,
top,
it
the
still
top
keeps.
build writer, the top build writer.
Mm-hmm.
He's known for Starsky and Hutch, Old School, Elf and Bad Santa,
He
Hangover
did
Part Two.
Elf and Bad Santa.
Yeah,
What a weird guy. What a weird niche that was.
yeah. Well, technically, he's like a rewriter for those things, but he did
Classic.
do semi-pro, Old School, Hangover 2.
Imagine having to rewrite this, and this is what you get. Oh, okay, I'm gonna pull the band-aid off the post-credit scene.
Oh God.
I'm gonna pull the band-aid off, and you're gonna hate it, and you're gonna wish I didn't even say it, and I wish I didn't even see it. So, feelings mutual when you hear it. Um, so you hear the Lila, the original wife, you hear her having sex, and it's a shot of her, in that position off the bed where she's, boobies
Yep.
having sex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she says, fuck me, you're fucking me, whatever, blah, blah, cock me, whatever she says. And then it redoes that scene where, Ben Stiller's sitting in the chair with the bathrobe.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows that, and it's a donkey in a bathrobe.
Oh my God. They did not.
They literally, yep. I literally wish I did not see it. I want to scrub that from my brain. I want to fucking eternal sunshine, spotless mind. I want that out of my head, and it's not gonna go. And I hate myself.
That
Absolutely hate
is
myself.
that is crazy work to do that.
Yep. So if I didn't already think this was a 0 to 10, we might need like a new negative scale, and it's only for this movie.
But yeah, we might
Never
need
use
to
it
like
again.
have like a change.org to get paid money for having sat through this. Like this might be a crime against art and
I
humanity.
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe you could in some terrible way describe this as art, but there's no beneficial nothing comes from this movie other than wasting time, and wasting time is an understatement. Stealing your time. It stole my time from me. Yeah, that was the post credit scene, and that was a scene they actually filmed with an actual actress in front of an actual set of people.
Yeah, and not just like she's not like a nobody actress. You know what I mean? Like
She's Silk Spectre and Watchmen a year and a half later.
yeah, that's just insane, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Back to actually fun stuff and positive thing, but not about the movie. Did you catch the two Always Sunny bit actors?
No, I didn't. You mentioned that? I did
Mm-hmm.
not.
So it was the old woman when she said, "Look how cute they are," in the restaurant, and this old woman
Mm.
feeding her husband. The old
Uh-huh.
woman plays the piano player in Nightman Cometh.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then the other one was it was when they were in that like remote Mexican town. There was a man, and he plays the father of the Juarez family from that, the Home Improvement, or not Home Improvement, Extreme Home Makeover episode of Always Sunny.
Mm. Right,
Uh,
right, right.
yeah, so there's that and that. Yep. There's that. I thought that was cool. Like, okay, cool. I know those two. I've seen those two on rewatches and stuff. Um, I guess let's end this with just the one singular positive thing is that the ending was better than the original, but again,
For sure,
at
because this
what
was actually
cost?
this had a plot. The plot sucked and I hated it. But
Yeah.
this one had a plot. So because it had a plot, they could end it and it any number of ways and it could have made sense. And they chose one that semi makes sense. Again, making wrong decisions every step of the way, but also a logical ending, which
Oh,
whatever.
last thing about the ending, actually. She says, "Oh, I heard you opened up a shop down here." And he says, "Yeah, I sent out an email on my email list." How did he get her email?
Dude, people exchanged emails back then, bro.
But this is the crazy dude who killed his or had a dead wife and then lied to you about it. How did he get the email? Did he get it on the beach when they were fucking 5 shots deep and stoned, and then he just remembered it? Just, oh yeah, that's her email, and I'm gonna like. How did he get that email?
Tito gave it to him. I didn't think that deep on it.
No, you have to think that deep, or else I have to think about the other things, and I don't want to think about the other things.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe they showed Donkey Dick like
Yeah,
and then they made that joke twice.
twice.
I thought once was egregious, racist, and pissed me off,
Yep.
but twice is like I don't even know. Like whatever accolades we've ever given Ben Stiller, we have to remove from him.
Yep. Sorry, Benny.
This has ruined Severance for me.
I mean, it's gonna make me see him in a different light completely. Every time I see his face, I'm gonna think about this movie and think about the fact that he read the script and signed on. He willingly took part in this. It's not, oh, you're offered a fucking movie. It's no, Ben Stiller was big enough to be choosy. I mean, what, Zoolander was a few years before this.
Dude,
Tropic Thunder.
He directed Cable Guy in like '96.
Yeah, yeah. And Tropic Thunder was a year after this. He could be choosy. He could decide exactly what he wanted to be in. He read the script, met with the Farrelly brothers, and said, "Yep." That kind of tells me a whole lot about Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
So, closing remarks? Because I want to wipe this whole thing away from my head. Just gone.
If you have not seen this movie and hearing this has piqued your interest just from a morbid curiosity, you'll get everything you need by opening the wiki page and reading the plot.
You'll get
as
more.
Fun as reading the plot on the wiki page without all of the eye and ear non-consensual things that they do to you.
Terrible, 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 terrible movie. Not just a not for me movie. Terrible, terrible, terrible movie. First one, not for me. This one,
Yeah.
awful.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely banned movies that are less offensive than this. There's like Van Wilder jokes that are more appropriate, like
For sure. Seems kind of tame in retrospect.
yeah, this is crazy wild. Like
Watch any Happy Madison movie, watch any Will Ferrell movie ever made before watching this movie. Any of them. Any SNL movie, any of them.
crazy work.
Yeah, I honestly don't have anything to say.
Yeah, I'm good on it. I mean, I'm not good on it, but
Well,
I'm done.
Yeah. Okay, well, you can catch us next time in 2 weeks when we talk about what's it called? The Secret Life of Walter Mitty and its reboot, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. As always, this is the Worst Critics Reboot or Deboot. I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Pino.
And we're out of here.
Peace.